Mama I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
So Sam, technology is supposed to make life simple for us. Why is it complicating our lives?
On the 29th September 2022, there's a major online story, SIM re-registration. In quotes, "It's your humble pie," Sam George tells us Owusu. And I'll just quote something I said from there. We have a minister who is so technically bereft of competence to execute a simple policy like a SIM registration. You will have this mess. And I told him as a mess of that. Randy, I associate wholly with everything that Sly has said. This whole registration
are you not just being a typical politician? We all know that as a minister, but obviously things like these are handled by a lot of people with technical expertise who are
Randy, the buck stops for the minister.
I don't dispute that.
And on this SIM card registration,
no, I don't
front and center of the
I don't
policy.
dispute that, but the point I'm making is that I am trying to explain to myself how come we have all the expertise, yet we have...
So Randy,
yes,
we have fantastic engineers at the NCA. Some of the people at the NCA were my mates in the university. I know, we speak. I know that they know what to do. But when you have a minister who gives you directives, and her directives supersede your technical competence, you must comply.
Are you suggesting that the directives are technical in nature? It's just from a policy point of view.
No, but when your technical advice to the minister exposes the flaw in her policy directive, but she tells you she's the minister, do what I want.
Is that what happened?
Oh yes, Randy. That's why we're where we're. Randy, let me tell you what this is. This whole system, and the committee must, as a matter of urgency, summon the ministry, the NCA, but most importantly, the Data Protection Commission. Randy, what has happened is a breach of personal data.
Serious.
It's a criminal offense.
A very serious one.
It's a criminal offense.
Very serious one.
You know what it means?
That somebody could have been invited by the CID or BNI.
Absolutely.
Because a number that has been used for some crime.
I said all of this a year ago.
Really?
I said on this platform, I spoke about it.
Right.
And said, look, Randy, you know what this means? To register a SIM card, your biometrics must be taken.
Yes.
Your face must be used.
I went through all that.
Good. So if SIM cards have been registered without your knowledge,
it
means your biometric data and your facial image
is available
to somebody who has used it to register a SIM card. What else can they use your biometric data to do?
Whoa.
So you see the data breach I'm talking about. And that's why when the NCA met the media last week and issued that press statement, I said, Joe Anoche, my very good friend, must bow his head in shame to have stood before the media and read that and said that there is no breach of data. Because none of those SIM cards could be registered without the biometric fingerprints and face of citizens. And you have situations where individuals have access to this data. Randy, from day one, I said this process was a flawed process. People said I was doing politics. Because I said, if you are going to register SIM cards, and you cannot cross-reference the information being presented to you against the Central National Database, which is at the NIA, you are wasting your time. We were told that, and that's what, it was on the basis of that Sly raised those issues. And that so-called technical people told him that those problems will not happen. Today we are facing it. Now you are asking people to literally, what we are going to do again is not a SIM is now another SIM re-registration or SIM de-re-registration. Because now you are being told that leave your job. People who went and queued, leave your job again to go and delink cards that have been added because of the incompetence of the minister or the ministry and the regulator. Randy, how do we even do this? Look, this matter is a very grave matter. It's a grave matter of national security. Because Randy, your bank, look, while sitting here, I've done a bank transaction this morning. Whilst I got a text, I had to do a bank transaction. How I authorized it was with my fingerprint, because my bank app is linked to my fingerprint. So if someone has your fingerprints and can register your details, a SIM card using your fingerprint details. Look, the risk that we are dealing with and joking with in this country, and so the Data Protection Commission must come. The regulator must not be asking people. Look, if the regulator was properly minded, they would immediately have commissioned an independent forensic audit of all SIM cards registered. And then we will be finding out, because it was not a computer that used your data to register somebody else's SIM card. Who is the individual there? And there must be criminal prosecutions. When you take the data protection law that was passed in 2010 under Professor Mills, it stipulates these kinds of situations and says that people can go to jail for up to 10 years. The NCA is sitting back and not talking about it. The Data Protection Commission has not said anything. The ministry, which is the parent body for both the Data Protection Commission and the NCA, is also silent on this matter. Randy, these are grave national security issues, and I've said this, that the next NDC government will have to clean up this mess. Because Randy, it goes deeper. Look, you said everybody should use the self-registration app. Randy, please, what phone are you using? Respectfully.
It's a Samsung.
A Samsung, the Flip, the Fold.
Yeah, Fold.
Good.
Fold.
You are using what?
iPhone.
I'm also using an S23 Samsung. You know that our phones have different camera pixels?
Yes.
Our biometric capture systems are all different.
Yes.
Now, you've said you are building a central database. There are people who use Techno, people who use Opta, there are people who use Huawei. All of these phones have different camera pixelations and all of that. Then you say everybody can use their own phone to take a picture and capture their biometric and register their data. That in itself should be the first red flag for you to know that the NIA, the EFI system of the NIA is standardized. There are certain, that's why the NIA didn't allow anybody to just register themselves. You must go and use their own device, because if it doesn't meet the standards of their device, you can't verify it. Randy, let me expose on this platform that all the biometric data and all the SIM cards that they claim they have registered, none of those Ghana cards have been verified with the NIA.
How?
I'm telling you. I am putting it out on this platform, and I'm challenging the NCA to, before 12 o'clock today, come and rebut what I'm saying. I'm saying all the registrations that they claim they have done, they have not cross-referenced them with the NIA. The NIA has not authenticated that the Ghana card details they claim they used to register your SIM card and your SIM card are genuine data sitting with the NIA. They've not done that.
You can't be serious.
Randy, this is a big platform. I am putting my credibility on the line. I'm telling you, and that's why I'm telling you that this whole re-registration has been a sham.
All right, so one of the big players in your space, Alain Biasso, it says that regarding the issue of multiple use of IDs for SIM card registration, our biggest concern is figuring out who else has access to the dump. Yes. I don't know what a dump is.
That's all the data they've collected is sitting in a record.
It says to the dump that contains Ghanaian cards and biometric data of users. This poses a severe threat to our ID card system and could hinder the use of Ghana ID cards for voter registration in the future.
Randy, he is spot on, because don't forget, right now the sole card for banking transactions in Ghana is what? The Ghana card. Now they have taken all of these Ghana card data and biometrics is sitting in a data dump, and you don't know who has access to it. And that's why I'm saying the committee must summon the Data Protection Commission to find out how involved they are in this process and how individual data is being protected. Randy, Parliament, we had a committee of the whole, and that is what led to our committee of the whole report that said we will not accept the CI in this current shape and form, because there were even questions with the NIA's own data and its ability to serve everybody who can vote in our constituency. So we said that we will only accept the CI with changes to it, because not everybody has the Ghana card. The Minister for Communications is an MP. She was part of that committee of the whole, and we agree that the Ghana card in its current shape and form has not been offered to as many Ghanaians, enough Ghanaians, for the purposes of conducting elections for her re-election. But she thinks that the Ghana card in its current shape and form is enough to block certain people's SIM cards. Policy incoherence.
But it's serious, because a Ghanaian whose Ghana card details have been taken, his or her biometrics taken. Facial taken, and then the person finds out that somebody else has used this sensitive data to register other numbers. In some cases, not just one person, maybe different people have used that. That's serious.
Randy, I think that for me, and not only the Data Protection Agency, but NCA itself, I said this, that during the SIM card re-registration, the regulator was missing in the process on during the SIM card.
Regulator being NCA?
Yes.
Okay.
They were missing completely. And we have said that there's a national data that at least we all trust. That is the NIA. And if you, all the telcos who have access to the national data, so you run a query on all of us, and it will return the results to you. Then a simple messages will be sent to individuals who don't have their bio data with NIA. Then you send them a message. Now go and get your Ghana card and come here, so that all of us who has it will not need to be doing all this. But I'm told there's a financial commitment between the telcos and then the NIA. There's a fee that one has to pay for this whole thing to be. Because when I go to the bank today, the bank has an arrangement with NIA, and I present my Ghana card. They pay for it. And I go to the bank.
Previously, even before Ghana card, they used to pay a private company for G5. When you take your EC card, they will confirm it.
So now, it was so simple, and that they could run a query and know that Randy, this is your biodata, this is your number, is linked to you, and it's done. So that the hassle of all of us having gone through this, we wouldn't have gone through. There are numbers that are left. Then when you have sent a message twice or three times and you ignore, you do so at your own peril.
Exactly.
So that those who don't have it will now go and chase their Ghana card. Once they get a Ghana card, it notifies the telco that ABCD has secured his or her Ghana card. You go. I don't know why technology is rather making it more difficult for our lives than what it ought to have been. And this is a serious
matter. This exposure of
it's a serious. I don't know, Randy, as I sit here, I don't know how many people have had that experience of multiple registrations. Like I said, I will do mine and check. But on the basis of allegations of
even if there's one person, there's a breach.
It's a breach.
Yeah. So for me, we may have to get, now NCA had put out a short code for people. Let people report of multiple registrations to their names. Then we'll take the matter up with the data protection, how well they were involved in data protection of people getting our data and all that.
Randy, you know, for me, the problem is we were warning about this thing. You know, this whole thing, we've been talking about it since September last year, and it only took a gentleman who went to the telco to go and register a new SIM card. He had registered 2. He was going to register his 3rd SIM card. He got there and they told him, you've registered 10, we can't register again for you. He said, oh, how?
Oh, and that's what brought
that is what brought this up 2 weeks ago. So then the guy goes on Facebook and tags MTN and tags Vodafone and says, how have you registered multiple SIMs in my name? It was, and then tags the NCA. It was that led to the conversation on social media. Oh. But we have been shouting about this thing since September last year, and the NCA refused to listen to us and work on it. Now, when the gentleman raised that, the first reaction was that, oh, it's not true. Then other people now started going to check. Then you then had I saw at least 12 different instances on social media. Then I did a Facebook post and tweet as well. Then the NCA now came out and said they are investigating. Then they do a press conference last week that they are bringing out a short code, and that if you find out there have been multiple registrations, go back to the telco. As though but
the biggest issue that the NCA should be interested in is
the data breach. And that's why I said Joe Anoche, I'm disappointed in him. Joe Anoche says in his press statement that as far as the NCA is concerned, there is no data breach.
How?
People have been able to use biometric data. Because you see, the system that the NCA gave to the telcos to use, and this is why the NCA is responsible. The telcos did not build their own system for a registration law. The system the telcos are using was given to them by the NCA. So the NCA system does not allow you to register a SIM card just by having maybe a picture. Say, for example, Slice Ghana card is lying here and I take a picture with then I can use it to register. No. The system requires that biometric data is also inputted before the numbers can be registered. So when we said that the manner in which the SIM card registration was being done would not fight crime, but would rather create more problems, Randy, you'll be sitting there and the police will call you and tell you to report at the police station, only for you to go there and they'll tell you that your number has been used in a crime, a number that doesn't belong to you. But because they went to check the registration details, it is your Ghana card that is.
This is a very serious matter.
This is serious. Everybody.
Okay.
My never say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. Osia dem yopo.